Mud is a very magical, insane property in the Dwarf Fortress universe. It retains water. Once it has been created, once water mixes with dirt, it exists until it is cleaned. And if you build a farm plot on it, you can grow vegetables in that farm plot for the rest of eternity. That mud turned into a farm plot will remain watered. And I know what you're thinking. You're saying, well, the dwarves, they probably water it when you're not looking. Not true. In this game, buckets of water are calculated. Dwarves bring water to hospitals. They transport it. It is heavy. It takes a while to bring water. The dwarves do not water these plants. They plant them, and then they harvest them when they are ready, which means that mud in Dwarf Fortress stays inherently, eternally wet. And in this video essay, I'm going to connect this to the longevity of the dwarves, the fact that they live for hundreds and hundreds of years, the fact that they're a subterranean species. They live with this magical material all around them in the soil layers. They are eternally surrounded by this infinite source of water. And we'll also talk about aquifers, if I can remember to talk about all of these before the footage runs out. Aquifers are in Dwarf Fortress an eternal source of water as well, and they do arise from mud. So we are going to talk as much as possible about the physical, chemical, and biological properties of magic dwarven mud. Now ask yourself, why do dwarves live so much longer than humans? Why do elves live so much longer than humans? Well, in the case of elves, obviously they have this deep reverence for nature. They will attack if they see you making wood products, if they see you mistreating the forest in any way. They have this deep spiritual relationship with the forest, and they live maybe by coincidence, I wouldn't say so, many, many times longer than humans. Dwarves, likewise, they don't seem to have a parallel until you realize that they specifically choose to dig deep underground. They work the magic mud. They work the magic mud. The magic mud that serves these farmlands is infinite. It produces infinite moisture. It produces infinite nutrient. That's the other thing. So every single season, you can plant something on a single plot of land that you got wet years ago, 10 years ago. If you soaked some stone in Dwarf Fortress 10 years ago, it will produce hemp, it will produce rope, it will produce food, a million useful things. Water plus stone in Dwarf Fortress violates basic conservation of mass, and that means that there is some magical agent inherent to the mixture of water and soil, to the creation of magic mud, that is a permanent source of both water and physical bulk matter to form these plants. So, having established that, I think it's pretty clear. The dwarves worship the earth as the elves worship the trees. And for that, they are granted vast immortality. You'll have to leave in the comments where the chronic drinking fixation in dwarven communities fits in. I haven't quite figured out where to place that. It may be something to do with their abhorrence to pure water. Dwarves only drink pure water when they're sick, when they absolutely have to. Otherwise, they will drink any other substance that they can brew except for water. And this may be a holdover from medieval fantasy times where water was just the least safe thing to drink, but in that case, they would not give it to people who were sick. If you know anything about medieval history or recuperation science as a medicine, leave it in the comments as well. But the fact is that the dwarves obviously worship an earth and mud-based god, and it gives them their longevity. It calls them towards the center of the earth. And I feel pretty confident now that I can establish this as, if not actual Dwarf Fortress lore, I think that there's something to be uncovered here. I think that there's some secret to the mud. All right, that's all I have for tonight. Oh, wait, I was going to talk about aquifers as well. Aquifers are infinite sources of water. Now, that makes sense in a general sense because the aquifers go off the edges of the map so they can draw water. The same way that lakes on the edge of your map will draw infinite water, aquifers will draw infinite water from the edges of the map. That may or may not have to do with this dwarven Gaia scenario. It also may, because, in a way, infinite water on a stone surface creates infinite mud. And so the engine continues the cycle. This is a dark god that commands everything to turn to mud. Okay, goodbye.